as the Department of Justice Inspector General is preparing to release a report on potential FISA abuses during the 2016 election. All of D.C. is preparing for what may be released. Here's One America's Jack Posobiec.
Excited to sit down here with One America News with Jonathan Gilliam. He's a former Navy SEAL, former FBI agent, and author of Sheep No More. Jonathan, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
You got it, my friend.
So we've got this counter investigation going on now. So we had the Mueller investigation. Now we're seeing the Barr Durham investigation. Part of that, the IG report, is going to come out possibly tomorrow or possibly in the next few days and weeks. What are you hearing? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's interesting, because we could almost tell when Mueller was running this investigation, the people who were investigating it for him, we could almost tell where it was going to go. It was going to be all or nothing. Somehow they're going to create enough evidence to indict him or bring him in on some kind of weird charge, or nothing was going to happen. I mean, those of us that are in this industry and have been in law enforcement, we know that there was nothing really there. With this investigation, the difference is that Barr appears to me to be more on the up and up as far as how he's focusing on the investigation and looking at the investigation as a whole. I personally, and no hit on Barr, but I don't trust anybody in Washington, D.C. that has orbited Washington, D.C. because they have loyalties and they see things differently, just like we did when we were in the military. You see things differently than when you're out. When you get out of the military, you see things differently. So I'm not sure how Barr actually sees the deep state as opposed to how we would see the deep state. We look at it as though they're looking at individuals who've done things against policy in the FBI or against policy in government. And that's two totally different things, because if you look at everybody as a whole, the case is going to take on a new movement forward like wildfire, like any case does when you have a conspiracy.
So essentially what you're saying is these false allegations of Russia collusion and where they came from.
All those things are what we saw, actually the Russian investigation itself, and even Mueller. This is what's important. A conspiracy is when you have two or more people that are involved in a criminal element that is trying to do a crime for the support of their ideology or whatever thing that they have they're trying to push forward, right? So you take this group, two or more people. In this case, there's a lot more than two people. And you show that there is proof that they were conspiring ultimately to overthrow the president, and in some cases an election. People may say, well, it's not really against the law. Well, it is against the law when those things that they do are focused for the overthrow of the president. When we're driving through traffic, I can cut you off, right? It's an accident. But if my intent was to cut you off and make you wreck because me and four other people don't like you, now we're showing that we have actually conspired together to cause you injury. Right. That's illegal, right? That's a crime because we're attempting to murder you. So when we look at what is happening in Washington, D.C., whether it be with Mueller or the politicians, the media people that knowingly were involved, or the people from the FBI who leaked information, what worries me about the way Barr is going about this is that I don't see it being looked at as a conspiracy, and he must do that in order to really affect the deep state.
Do you think that if he does, take this new wider scope, will he be effective?
I don't see how he couldn't be. I think if Barr was looking at that, it's very easy to connect the dots, not just by trying to assume this person is probably involved. There's plenty of evidence that people have conspired to do things to further this overthrow of the President of the United States.
Where can people go to find more information about you and your work?
Well, they can find me on social media. I have a website, but social media is the way to go now. So they can find me on Twitter, @JGilliam_SEAL, and pretty much any social media if they look for Jonathan T. Gilliam, and they can find my book there as well.
All right, Jonathan Gilliam, thank you so much.
You got it, my friend. Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.